Right, this is Wrestling with the Big One, and this week it's my turn. Do you know how much this flat costs? £390 a month. Council tax is 50 quid. Gas is about a tenner.
Gas was cut off 2 weeks ago.
Electricity's a tenner. Bus fares are a fiver.
They're not interested, Blakey.
It's context, man. You keep telling them these prissy little stories about mustard seeds and pearls and stuff.
Come on.
What about the poor,
What
Tone?
about them?
They're in these stories time and time again as the heroes. What was Jesus always saying? The poor will get into heaven and the rich can rot in hell because they're a bunch of thieving capitalist pigs.
You sure you're not thinking of Karl Marx?
Shut up, I'm doing the talking. So this week, we'll be looking at a story that Jesus made up called The Rich Man and Lazarus.
He didn't make it up, actually. It's an old folk story. It's interesting, that,
I was
isn't it?
going to tell them
It was
that.
old, even in Jesus' time.
I know.
It comes from Egypt originally, and it's based on the story of this rich, corrupt businessman.
Who actually existed, and his name was... What was his name?
Bar Khan.
Have you finished them clouds yet?
Yeah.
Oh, Tone, they're good. Look, they're good, aren't they? I'd like the red one.
Yeah, I just made it out of cardboard and stuck some glitter on. And then, if you've got any old Christmas decorations...
Oi, it's not kids' TV. So anyway, the story of The Rich Man and Lazarus was dead popular with the Jewish preachers because it was really funny and everyone knew it, but they used to change it a little bit if they wanted to make a particular point, which is exactly what Jesus did, right?
Yeah.
Right, you be the rich man and I'll be the poor man.
I don't want to be the rich man.
You're a rich man.
I'm not.
Look, you've got the best cloud and you get a bowl of grapes. Now lay down. So, once upon a time, and this is Luke chapter 16, verses 19 to 31, by the way, there was this rich man, and he dressed in purple and fine linen, and he stuffed his face every day.
It does not say stuffed his face.
And at his gate, there lay a poor man, that's me. And his name was Lazarus, and he was covered in sores, and he would have been happy to eat the smallest scraps that fell from the rich man's table. And moreover, the dogs did come and licketh his sores, and the gas board did turneth off his gas. So, anyway, Lazarus died, right? And he went to heaven. Hang on, where's me cloud? And the rich man died too, and he went to hell. Serves him right. And the rich man looked up and he saw Lazarus lying in Abraham's bosom, because that's the sort of thing they used to do in heaven. And the rich man cried out, go on.
Oh, wow! Oh, I'm in terrible agony. The fires of hell are blazing. My whole body's been ripped and torn to shreds. Please help me. Get Lazarus to dip his finger in some water and soothe my tongue.
And Abraham said, listen, son, you remember how you had all those good things on earth, all those grapes and stuff, and Lazarus didn't even have any gas? Well, the boot's on the other foot now, so tough luck.
Then please send Lazarus down to my father back on earth. I've got 5 rich brothers. If he tells them how I've ended up, they'll see the error of their ways and be good.
What do you mean, good? They've had 1,000 years of Jewish teaching, haven't they? They've got all the books of the Old Testament telling them what to do and what not to do. Did that make them good?
No, but if some poor stiff comes back from the dead...
Listen, chummy, if they didn't listen to all those terrible warnings in the Old Testament, they're hardly likely to listen to some ghost, are they? And that's the end of the story. Lazarus stays nice and comfy in Abraham's bosom, and the rich man roasts in hell because he's rich.
Not because he's rich, because he wouldn't listen.
Excuse me?
Well, Jesus isn't saying he's bad because he's rich. He's saying his money got in his way, so he couldn't see things clearly.
I don't think it says that in the Bible, Tone.
Well, it's obvious.
It might be obvious to Robert Maxwell and John Paul Getty, but it's certainly not obvious to me.
Look, if you try and turn Jesus into some sort of primitive communist...
Where does it say that he isn't bad because he's rich? It doesn't. You're just doing what people always do when they don't like the parables, Tone. You're saying Jesus didn't actually mean what he said. What he meant...
Hang on a minute. Hang on. Look, what's that?
What's what?
That big watery thing down there.
How should I know?
Well, get a bit closer. What are you, blind or something?
A bit big for a boating lake, isn't it?
It's the Sea of Galilee.
Oh, yeah?
And who lived here and did a load of their teaching around here?
Jesus.
Exactly. He lived over there somewhere. And over on that side, there are a lot of little Roman towns, very sophisticated, very up to the minute. And the big thing with the philosophers of that time over there was cynicism.
So you're saying Jesus was a cynic? Send your letters of complaint to him, not me, please.
No, what I'm saying is there were these Greek and Roman philosophers called the Cynics who were very influential round here in Jesus' time, and they stood up in public places, just like Jesus did, and they said, if you want to get at the really important things of life, then you've got to do away with all that stuff like money and power and politics and being the boss, because they're going to get in the way and stop you seeing the important stuff in life.
So you're saying Jesus might have been one of them?
How should I know? Maybe. But my point is that Jesus was saying very much the same thing. It's not the money that's bad, it's what it does to your head.
Tone, this parable says money stinks, and that's that.
You're wrong, Blakey.
I'm not.
Have you finished boating?
Yeah, feeling a bit queasy. And that bloke over there's saying our time's up.
Then we'll do the story of the Pharisee and the Publican. There was this bloke, right, and he went up to the temple to pray. And he wasn't wealthy, he didn't have loads of money, but he was a religious man. He was a Pharisee, right? And there was another bloke there as well, wasn't there? And he was...
A publican.
And a publican is...
Bloke who runs a boozer.
No, it's not wise guy, it's a tax man, isn't it? A man who spends his whole day up to his armpits in money. Now, the Pharisee started to pray. He was a really big show-off, right? And everyone could hear him, his great big booming voice as he prayed. Go on.
You do it, Tone.
Come on.
It's St Paul's Cathedral. We'll get arrested or something.
What, for telling the parables? I don't think so.
All right, I'll do it. But if I get busted, I'll tell him you made me, right?
Yeah.
Dear God, I thank you that I am not like other men. Extortioners, adulterers, the unjust, and especially not that loathsome little tax man over there. It's a bit much, Tone.
It's fantastic, it's great.
I am a deeply religious man. I fast for 24 hours every week. I give 10% of everything I earn to charitable institutions. And I go to church 3 times every Sunday.
Saturday.
Eh?
You're Jewish.
Right. I go to church 3 times every Saturday. It don't sound right, Tone.
It's great, it's fantastic. You're really good at overacting. Really convincing. Anyway, the point is that the bloke was two-faced, right? He was a hypocrite. Even though he was religious, he was blind to the truth about himself. His religion actually blinded him from understanding more. But the other bloke, the publican, he was totally different, wasn't he? He didn't fast, didn't give all his money to charity. He was a tax man, he was a collaborator with the Romans. He creamed off loads of extra taxes and spent them on himself. He was a crook, nobody liked him at all.
You're going to play him, are you?
Yeah.
Well, you'll be good at that part.
Thank you. But even though he was a money man, he wasn't blind to the truth about himself, was he? When he played really quietly, and he said, God, I'm a sinner, please be merciful to me. And Jesus said to the people who are listening to this parable, look, it's that publican who's got the right attitude, because everyone who thinks they're so great is going to be brought right down, and everyone who's already down the bottom is going to be lifted up. And I think what Jesus was saying was that anything that gets in your way, whether it's religion or money or your obsession about your family or whatever, you want to elbow, because otherwise you'll never see the truth about the really important things in life. OK? See you next week.
Hang on. But he was saying you had to get rid of your money too, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
And there's loads of Christians that never do that, right?
1 or 2, maybe.
Right. So listen to that, you lot. See you next week.
See ya.
Lend us a couple of quid, will ya?
What for?
I could murder a whopper.
Well, I gave you a £5 yesterday.
That's not a very Christian attitude, is it?
Well, I'm supposed to subsidise your junk food habit, am I?
I think your money's getting in the way here, Tone.
Oh, you're such a clever guy, aren't you?